that it's working.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back, Sarah.
Thank you. Look at this beautiful studio.
This
Because
is our...
you didn't record in here last time, did you?
No.
You recorded in the other kitchen.
Yeah.
This is our version. I don't know. It's about version 6 or 7 studio
It's
now.
got
I
to
think.
be, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Because we did Williams, some kitchen, then some here, then some next door, then some... Oh, my gosh, we've done it so many different places.
Yes. So, Sarah, tell us what's been going on and reintroduce yourself as well. So people who haven't watched your previous podcast.
And eat your microphone, please.
Yeah, pull your microphone towards you.
Well, so previously my name was Sarah Rutledge,
You can pull it towards you. There you go.
and now it's Sarah Robinson.
So I start singing that song again.
You know, a little old thing, just got married since we last was on a podcast.
Wow.
Amazing. How is married life?
Married life is good. It is good. It's something I never thought would happen.
What's been like the if you think over the last, how long have you been married for now? 6 months?
Yeah, just over.
Yeah. So what do you think is the one thing that your life has changed? Like, what's the one big thing that's changed?
I think it's just always having another person in your life to consider, to think about, to have a journey of life with.
Okay. Nice. Yeah.
But I think sometimes that can be irritating as well, especially when you're not used to it.
Absolutely, yeah. I think, you know, I'm not afraid to say, especially with past relationships that might not have been the best or full of toxicness and drama. And I think it's just sometimes even just the mundane, normal things of a married life that kind of took me by surprise. as well. Like
Dirty pants.
dirty pants, the inability to sometimes get the glass from the coffee table to the sink because the little glass fairy will come along and collect it.
Yeah.
Or just having someone to put the bins out, that's nice. Because we're quite traditional in quite a lot of ways with, I know it's a thing you shouldn't say these days, is it? But men's job and girls' jobs, we still follow that. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with traditional things.
No.
But who cooks in your household?
So I do a lot of the cooking, but he is definitely a better cook.
Okay.
So he is an amazing cook. So we were like, tonight I'm making a cottage pie, and I know his cottage pie is better than mine,
Damn it.
but I will make it.
And
Why-
he will
why-
eat it.
What makes his cottage pie better?
He's just really good at cooking. I have the ability sometimes to make something that just tastes the same, of nothingness, whereas he'll make something and it tastes like probably it should taste.
Is that not I know, I sort of get what you're saying, but I always think sometimes that because you've cooked it doesn't taste as good as when someone else makes it. Is that kind of psychological?
He
thing?
tells me that his cooking's better than mine as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
In that case, I just tell him where to go.
Yeah.
I dream of Dave telling me that his cooking's better than mine.
Yeah, because Dave doesn't cook, does he?
Dave does not cook. If I'm, say, not feeling bright or Wills is not home to cook, he will get a takeaway or he will take us out to dinner or cheese and crackers.
Oh, I
Baked
like
beans
cheese
and
crackers,
toast.
yeah.
Cheese and crackers is like that's a good. Yeah, I've recently discovered the snack board. So you're both looking at me as if you don't know what a snack board is.
Yeah, I know what a snack
Oh,
board
snack
is.
board, like little snacky bits.
Yeah. So you might have like
Picky
like
tea,
a
we
chicken
call
leg,
it.
a picky
Yeah.
tea. Oh, it's on a board. It's on a snack board. Yeah, it's you have like a little chicken leg of cheese and crackers, some like bit of fruit.
I can't
Amazing.
believe that you are saying that you've just discovered it when you've probably had that at my house 100 times.
It's probably
but
the
it's-
new in word, isn't it? Snack board.
So I learnt it at Christmas from one of my godchildren, because that's what they have most evenings is a snack board. I'm very excited about this snack board, and I was very jealous of this snack board. So now I create my own adult snack board.
Well, we call it a picky tea in our house, and it's William's and Dave's favourite. If you can give them a tea, but I think they're really nice. It's like sharing, isn't it? And
Yeah.
you can all share, and I like that. I tend to do that as a
Although
starter.
that's different, because a snack board is very much that's yours. That's
Yeah,
your board.
I know, but that's just because you lot are greedy and want your
Yeah.
own thing.
I am good at jacket potatoes, though. I think it's the Irish in me with the potatoes.
Talk us through how you do a jacket potato then.
Salt, oil.
Yeah.
Some people put it in foil. You don't need to put it in foil.
Okay.
So you turn the temperature right up for half an hour. then put it down to about 180 degrees and leave it for about 60 minutes, and then it's perfect. Proper crispy on the outside, fluffy on the middle.
Nice. And what's your favourite toppings?
I like cheese and coleslaw.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a bit different. Cheese and coleslaw.
Yeah.
No beans? No. Okay.
Do you not like beans?
I do like beans, but not on my jacket potato.
That is odd. So I like to do butter, then some cheese, then some beans, and then more cheese on top of the beans, because then the cheese melts into the beans. That's my favourite.
You've got to take your time with the butter as well. Butter.
You've got to get the butter. Yeah, the butter's got to be done right, hasn't
Mash
it?
it all up. Anyway, we could probably do a whole podcast on jacket potatoes.
We do, but I don't have butter on mine because it
you not?
makes no. It's too much weight. It's too much fat.
Well, that's
It's bad
probably
for
why
me. And I wouldn't necessarily have beans. Beans don't always agree with me. They give me a tummy ache. And I quite like them plain.
The plain, boring jacket potato.
Yeah, or I like tuna and mayo.
Okay.
And I would eat coleslaw, but I wouldn't have tuna, mayo and coleslaw.
No.
Because that's too many calories in my opinion.
I don't know why, but I really like shop bought coleslaw.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's always nice, isn't it? I know you guys make coleslaw a lot and it is good, but there's something about shop bought coleslaw.
Well, because it's really creamy and it's
really
really unhealthy. Whereas the one at home has got less mayo in, and it tends to. We at home here we put in like that sriracha mayonnaise,
Yeah, I do
so
like
it gives
that,
it that
though.
bite.
Gives it a bit of a tang, doesn't it? I do like that.
I like American coleslaw type thing. They're like American salads where you put everything in. So I did one of those at the weekend with grapes and apple and all of that stuff. I love that. It's my fave. Anyway, we've done jacket potatoes.
Talked a lot about food.
We have, haven't we? Are you just checking machines over
I
there?
am, yeah.
Why
No,
not?
it's
Are you
sort of
happy?
way over there. It's hard to see
Yeah.
everything. But
So does it
that's
pick
good.
up who's talking, or do you
No,
just
we
have
still
to
have to do
press
that
a...
manually.
Oh, you press the button.
We have to
Yeah, he
press
presses the button.
Yeah, there we go.
Depending on
You
who's
can keep
talking.
it on you two if you want.
Trust me, we've got our own cameras now, which
Yeah,
we've
as well,
never
which is a
had
bit
before.
different.
We used to share cameras, and so now it's Mike's camera and Angie's camera, and it's like normally you only get half of us. So actually that suits us both because we're both a bit camera shy, aren't we?
It does
So
work better.
yeah.
So,
How long does it take to set up?
It took
Well,
like an hour this morning.
Depends who's doing it. So do you want to hear the story
Yes.
about the new podcast? So basically we lent William our cameras. He went off to America and took them with him, and he lent us some other ones, and I broke one. So when we were setting up, I broke this camera. So cut a long
I
story
like that
short.
you've admitted that on camera now.
I did
like
break
that.
it.
You did. I
I
agree.
did break it. And basically so Will was like, oh, come on, let's just sort this out. So after the last podcast, which was a little bit of I was almost crying because I couldn't set it up. And I like setting it up and having it all ready because Mike's always late.
Absolutely. That is rubbish. I'm always here a good
It
half
just-
an hour before guests.
Yeah, exactly. It takes
don't know
more
how
than
much
half an
time
hour
you
to
need.
set it up. Anyway, William said, right, let's just get this right. So he spent a lot of my money on buying new equipment for the podcast, but insisted that he sets it up the first time so we know what we're doing.
But the thing is we've now insisted that he sets it up every time.
Yeah, because he knows how well it is, but he's so OCD about it.
He is.
He's laughing.
Don't break anything.
Yeah. But it's a lot cleaner now, apart from sort of the mess behind Angie.
And we put
Little
the
bit
blinds down so that we
You
can
calling
see.
Angie's house messy?
I'm
Look,
not sure messy is the word.
I
Maybe
have,
clutter.
I have one bit of clutter, which is that.
It's like a florist's
I
office
tried to
behind
hide
me.
it because you moaned about it, but in actual fact, that's where everybody has a pile of paperwork, don't they?
A drawer.
I don't have a drawer
Oh.
because I've
I
only
don't-
got 3
yeah,
drawers.
I don't like a drawer because then you put it in the drawer and you forget it's there.
So I have a basket that Annie gave me, and it goes behind there, and that's the paperwork. And every week I clear it, but I've got to admit I didn't do it last week, but I will clear it today. So, and he's moaning about it, but actually this is my home.
Exactly.
Yes, and we're
It's
very
lovely.
grateful that we can
Beautiful.
record here.
Yeah, it's nice.
So.
And we've got the lighting right now because we pulled the blinds down. Yes. Right. Okay. So what do you want to talk about other than jacket potatoes, married life?
Because I texted you, didn't I?
You did.
And I said to you, should I talk about this subject? And you said, yeah. Then I was a bit weird because Mike's here and it's one of those
And I don't know what it
subjects.
is, so
Do
this
you
is going to be
not?
really
No,
interesting.
didn't
So
tell
I
No.
texted Angie and said, how about I talk about perimenopause?
Lovely.
I think the thing is about it is so many people like you say, don't want to talk about it because they're embarrassed about it. And also it's a recognition of generally of your age. I know some women go through it earlier, but it is a recognition of your age and where you are in your life. And I think, and they don't always want to talk about it in front of a bloke, really.
No, I get you. So tell me, what is perimenopause?
It's that time of your life where your menstrual cycle, should we say, is kind of not as it should be, and it has a lot of different impacts on women's bodies. And I think for me, I suppose the first point, because I felt very odd for a while now with symptoms that I'll go into, but I think you're right. I think I haven't wanted to admit that that's where I am in life at the moment. And I think partly because it brings up for me not having children, which is something I try and put in the back of my mind, but something I've always wanted. And unfortunately, it's not been possible for me. And I think going through perimenopause is the first step before menopause, where then there would be absolutely no chance of having children and things really do change. And God, I'm getting embarrassed now talking about it. Well, am I embarrassed or am I sad?
Perhaps it's a bit of both.
Yeah. And I think the symptoms that women go through can be quite debilitating. So, you know, for me, I've had many symptoms, whether it's little things like hair thinning, my hair's getting thinner. I have proper mood swings. You know, if I sum it up, I can be driving along the road one day happy, and if a little old man's crossing the road, I'll be like, let me help you. Let me help you cross that road. And another day, at another time, I can be like, if you don't hurry up, I'm going to ram my car. And that's, I know you laugh, but it's extreme thinking. Teary over anything. Brain fog. You know, I laugh about it, but this is an example. Ages ago, I went to make Darren's cup of tea with Vinto that was in the fridge instead of milk because I'm just completely la-la. And it can be quite debilitating.
But is that also, because you can put some of that down to being preoccupied?
I cut my hand, people. Well, my cat cut my hand and now I've just spilt it down my jumper. Lovely. How delightful.
But is it sometimes that bit where actually we can blame all of it on being perimenopausal, or actually we can be preoccupied with other stuff that we're not necessarily talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's because sometimes the subjects can come up, can't they? Like whether it's perimenopause or different mental health diagnosis, that then you know you're going through those symptoms, and then all of a sudden everything becomes because of that.
Yeah,
yeah,
because you don't actually recognise that it could be something other than that. And when I first started working in the mental health services, I noticed a lot of women in their 40s, early 50s, we were turning up to the mental health services, feeling unwell, things have changed, they were doing things that is exactly how you described, mood swings up and down. I did a pattern, I did like a bit of a survey, and I recognised, and I went, in the end I said to everybody, go and have your blood tests done. Just go and check that you're not hitting the menopause or you're perimenopausal. I could honestly say probably 70% of those clients were. And actually all they needed was support.
Yeah.
But I suppose if you don't talk about it, where do you get your support from? And if you're embarrassed about it, where do you get, and if it's linking to emotional not being able to have babies, or the recognition that actually that time slot's getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and the chances are in the next couple of years that's never going to happen. How do you distinguish about what you're comfortable talking about, what you're not? Because it gets put in a big bowl, doesn't it? Like a mixing bowl, and stirred around, and then where do you go with all of that?
Yeah, it's definitely been difficult, and I know you've said to me previously about it, and I think it is that accepting that's what it is, but then doing something about it. Because actually you do have times that you know you're going to feel worse, and what do you do with that? Do you let it snowball, or do you actually go, right, that's why it is? Mike's quiet, he's thinking, what do I talk about?
Well, I do.
Sorry.
That's all right. We put you right on the spot, haven't
You
we?
have today.
But do you know what, though? I think men go through it as well, where their testosterone levels become quite low and their libido goes. Having an erection can be difficult. You know, having an orgasm can be difficult. But we don't talk about that yet. We've got to the point where we can talk about women's menopause, but we don't talk about what happens to men.
Yeah.
It's not out there as much as perhaps it could be.
Because actually someone said to me earlier when I said this is what I was talking about, one of the guys said, men's got feelings too, you know.
Yeah.
And actually they said it in a half joking way, but actually whether it's the impact that it can have on a partner or, as you said, men go through their own aging and get embarrassed by talking about stuff that, you know.
Or embarrassed about the fact that their wife doesn't want to make love anymore.
Yeah, because the libido goes.
Yeah, down as like.
Yeah.
And I think that when do you talk about those things? When do you say.
Now, Mike.
No, but as a chap, it's like it's really hard to own the fact that your partner is no longer finding you attractive. It's not that. They think it's that, but it's not that. They don't find you attractive, and so therefore they're not making love. Owning that as a man must be quite tough.
But you're both looking at me, and I don't know. I don't know the answer to it because I don't know is the answer. I don't know, but I'll let you know in maybe a few years' time.
Yeah, it's tough though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you and your partner talk about it?
Yeah. Yeah, because it can be quite difficult because there's that kind of volatile 1 minute something won't bother me and the next the same thing will bother me. And actually it's about talking about it.
But why is that?
It feels like sometimes this kind of foggy rage comes over my head. It's almost like I'm having this weird out-of-body experience where I don't feel myself at all. Like today is good. The last couple of days have been great.
There is a therapy. If you were in therapy and talking about it in therapy, there would be a therapeutic process to examine that, wouldn't there? About, is that really about the fact that your hormones are all up the chute and things are changing, or is that about that emotional process that's going on in your life, both previous and present, if that's what I'm saying? So it's always there's a dilemma there, isn't there? What is it? Is it that, or is it that? And it's trying to work out which is which.
Yeah, and it kind of links into another thing that I struggle with as well, like health anxiety. And you're right, because actually when I am feeling anxious and that, my health anxiety
Gets high.
And where do you then draw the line of actually what's really a health issue versus what's made up in my head?
Yeah.
Because that's another topic that I was going to potentially talk about, which might have been easier.
Possibly. And this is along the same lines, but I was reading an article this week which talks about people's emotions, and this scientist has come up with this theory that your way of thinking can change as quickly in 90 seconds. So if you're feeling anxious or if you're feeling scared or happy or whatever, if you can try and not think like that, your brain will effectively flush that emotion out in about 90 seconds. So if you're feeling anxious about something and you don't focus on it and you think of something else, kittens or dogs or whatever it is that makes you happy, they reckon that your brain will flush it out within 90 seconds. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, and it's distraction. So basically, and it is something that you use quite, and particularly when you've got grieving, when you're grieving, if you're just at the very early stages of grief, where, and I know because I've experienced this quite a lot recently, and I've had to use that technique to be able to get through quite a lot of being at work and all of that stuff that brings that back to the reality. And basically, one of the things is like, I think about ice cream. I don't like ice cream particularly, but I think of an ice cream and and it sounds crazy. Or the other thing is I play a game on my phone. I've never played games on my phone. It's not something I've ever done, but I have recently over the last couple of years, really just to distract my thinking. But if you look at CBT, cognitive behavioural therapy, one of the things is about changing your cognitions. So that scheme of thinking that you've got that's been going on probably all of your life. Yeah. And it's like, say, for instance, Sarah's example of, I'm not going to be able to have a baby. Well, she doesn't know that because she's still got another couple of years before that gets decided, unless Darren can't have children. And lots of women fall pregnant in the menopause. It's a known fact that they do because the hormones change. But if you think, I'm never ever going to have a baby, then it's like, well, if you change that to an optimistic thought that actually there is a possibility, and if it happens, it happens. And if it doesn't, I'm going to go and do something else, or whatever your choice is. Have 100 kittens in my house that beat me up every morning. But do you know what I'm saying? It's like that. It's just, but it's a known fact that if you change your thinking, it will automatically change your behaviour, and then that's what the therapy is. But you've got to be willing to be and open-minded to do that.
That's why the book I'm reading at the moment, the voucher, is called Addicted to Anxiety.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah, well, I've literally just a few chapters in, but it talks about the cycle of why do you keep going back to that anxious way of thinking.
You better explain what the voucher means because nobody will have a clue.
Sorry. It was good. We got, for Christmas, all the staff got a gift voucher for Waterstones.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
and,
cool.
and a Costa coffee voucher, which is perfect.
Yeah.
So we were able to get some books.
That's really nice. I like that. That's a really good idea.
It was good. It was really nice.
Yeah.
It's nice getting an actual book.
Yes, yeah, I agree. I need to get back into reading. I've thought about this a lot in the last few days. I've not read. In COVID, I read almost a book every other day. I was reading a lot. And then when I was on holiday back in September, I think it was, or October, it was December actually. I read one book in a week. And I've just not picked up a book since. And I really need to get back into it because it really helps. Again, it's a bit like that whole distraction thing we just talked about, but it helps you kind of restabilize and rethink things. And yeah.
Well, it gives you options.
It does.
You know, you read a book, you don't have to agree with everything that somebody says in a book, do you? But it gives you those options. And I think sometimes people don't give themselves options.
But it doesn't always have to be a therapy book, does it? Any book, you know, because I got into a bit of a bad stage actually of watching TikTok at night. And bearing in mind I've not done social media for years. And then I downloaded TikTok and it's such a time vampire. Yeah. And I was watching videos of cats and all sorts. And it's like, stop. Because your brain just becomes wide awake at night time.
We have a no phone rule in the bedroom apart from to put on a book to listen to when the lights are off. And it's just quite nice to relax to a book. It doesn't matter what it is. Actually, we're reading Love's Executioner at the moment by Yalom, which isn't the most relaxing book, but because I've listened to it before, it's just reminding me of what I already know, the re-education, and I quite like that. But I listen to books if I'm not reading a book, which I read and listen at the same time. If I'm not listening to a book, if I'm doing something at home, I always have a book or a podcast or something on to kind of improve myself. Because I think the other thing is coming back to the menopause. When you're in the menopause and there is that part about isolation. Very often women will isolate themselves to prevent that kind of conflict or the increased mood or anything like that. And I think that's where podcasts and books can really help. Like audio books can really, really help because concentrating on a book can sometimes be really difficult. But having those books at hand, turn it on when you're doing the washing up, turn it on when you're doing the cleaning,
making your cottage pie later. Yeah, making your cottage pie later. Yeah, whatever. And I do in gym. I just put my headphones on and then go in the gym and listen to a book while I'm doing what I'm really crap at doing, but I do it. And there is that thing about you just want to be at home.
Yeah,
you're right. That isolation of just where's that oomph?
I think that also happens in the grieving process, don't you?
Yeah.
So where are you in your cycle of
perimenopause?
Yeah,
but potentially. So I've got an appointment on the 3rd to have bloods because they stopped doing it, didn't they? Where they weren't going to do blood tests for people. Menopause.
Really?
Well, that's what I was told, but they are doing one on the 23rd because I think I'm nearer.
I think sometimes it's worth just paying for it to be done.
Night sweats.
HRT is my best friend. I've been taking HRT since I was 30.
Well, it's interesting because my mum and my nan both went for it at a very young age.
Yeah.
But it was different back then. They both had hysterectomies in their early 30s.
Wow.
Yeah, so did I.
Really?
Yeah.
Because it was a way of, helping manage it, wasn't it?
Well, no, it's not. It's the worst thing ever because what they do is they mess it up. I mean, the reason I went to the change so early was because I'd had a hysterectomy. And basically they force your hand into it. But I've never, ever spent years going through all the menopausal side effects, hot sweats, no sleep, weight up and down, couldn't keep my weight stable, all of that stuff that really knocks your self-esteem as well. No libido, no, blah, 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 blah. Having to make an effort. And in the end, I thought, sod this, and went on HRT, and I've never looked back, really. Best thing I've ever done. But I know that's not an option for everybody. Lots of women. I've got a friend, actually, who pays to go private, and she has natural hormones. They do it for her, and she's just changed who did it for her. She changed the companies, and the first company got it perfectly right. She's been absolutely fantastic, not had any hot flushes or anything. And now she's changed to another company and they haven't got it right. And she's really struggling. And it's like she's full blown into her menopause again. And it's like she said, it's awful. It's an awful experience. Why wouldn't you go and pay privately to have a blood test?
Well, I'm lucky that I think you're right. It makes a difference with the services and the people that you speak to. So I've now got a doctor who is very supportive and has actually kind of not taken me under her wing, but really listened to what I was saying, because I went to see a private HRT specialist who believed that, not HRT, menopause, which Victoria gave me a number for. But the doctor that I had was kind of almost poo-pooing it a bit, because I suppose you're in that category of, are you really at that stage or are you too young? But the doctor I've got now is fantastic. And I've got a blood test on the 23rd and then they will put me on it, HRT.
Oh, it's the best thing ever. And I mean, I remember when I went, there was something wrong with me, and the doctor that I went to see at the time said, oh, you need to come off that. And I went, are you kidding me? And I'd gone to see a gynecologist about something else. And she said, the Queen's been on it all of her adult life, virtually, since she hit the menopause, and she's still on it. And at that time she was alive, and I think she was 99 or something like that, or 80, or in her 90s. So if it's good enough for the Queen, it's good enough for you.
Well, I think there's a lot of stigma out there as well around HRT, because I suppose it's with my health anxiety, said, oh, it's supposed to be bad for you, isn't it, for your heart and stuff like that. And there's like, no, it's the opposite. It actually helps.
Oh, I don't know that bit, but I know there's a lot of stigma around breast cancer and all of that. So if you are on HRT and you get breast cancer, if it's hormonal based, they take you off it immediately. But I came off it some time ago. I was off it because I had a lump in my breast, and I went and had it all sorted. And they put me on a medication called tamoxifen. And they said, oh, you've got to take this for the rest of your life. I went, forget it. Put me straight back where I was, if not worse, in the menopause. And I went, no. And that's when I started taking HRT again. And I thought, do you know what? If I'm going to die of breast cancer, at least I've died of breast cancer. I can sleep at night time. I can have a sexual relationship with the person that I love, and I can be normal, like have a normal conversation with me. I'm not screaming at anybody. I'm not trying to kill somebody on the road. I'm not being impatient with anybody. I am who I am. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's that mood swings that are so unpredictable. You don't know what's going to happen. 1 minute you cry and the next minute you laugh, and the next minute you're actually screaming at somebody.
It's horrible.
And I know for you the consequences have been quite dire, really, haven't you? Because you gave...
You reckon, should I say?
Yeah, I would.
When I thought nobody loved me, so I quit my job? We laugh about it now, but that's seriously where I was at.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, but I've taken a lot of learnings from that, shall we say?
Yeah, but that's the thing. Can you take the learnings when you're in the middle of going through your menopause or perimenopausal or whatever?
It's scary. I'm not going to, hopefully. It's just about, I am getting better at talking about it more, though. I am getting better at talking about what's going on in my head, even if it's proper wonky thinking. I know I'm getting better at that. Because, I haven't made the sanest of decisions in the midst of...
I could say something, but I'm not going to, Sarah. But sorry, go on.
I was going to say, at what point did you put a name to it? When did you sort of sit there and go, I think it's this?
Not that long ago.
Okay.
And it's interesting because actually I think even in my appraisal, I remember you saying it to me in my appraisal a year ago. 2 years ago.
Saying what? Can you elaborate, sorry?
So 2 years ago, Angie even said to me, what have you done about the fact that you might be going through perimenopause? And actually, you can sit in the problem, can't you?
Yeah, very true.
And I sat in the problem for quite some time.
But I think we all do, don't we?
Yeah.
You see, and it's not necessarily about that. It can be anything, and you can sit there and not deal with this situation properly. So therefore, as a result, you end up never, ever resolving the problem that you've got.
And it's sad because sometimes people just don't deal with things that come up, and then sometimes it's too late, isn't it?
Well, divorce, lose your job, all of that stuff, which is not doing anybody any favours at all, is it?
No. So I'm back at Somewhere House and I love it.
That's good.
And I'm loved.
It's must be quite difficult being in a new marriage, and you're going through this as well. And I don't mean that, I mean in a physical sense as well. It must be quite tough on your partner.
Yeah, it has been, because I think he's quite a calming, laid back character in some ways, and I can be the complete opposite to that. And I think it can be difficult when you don't know what mood you're going to get. I think that's the hard bit.
He's not thought about divorcing you yet then?
No.
Have you thought about divorcing him? But you do. You make really rash decisions, don't you? I wonder how many marriages have broken down because the wife's going through this. It's like having a period every day. Yeah. And I know, sorry, Mike, but that bit where you get all that emotional upheaval when you're ovulating and you're doing all of that, but you get it every day. There's no break from it, is there?
Yeah, if we're going to be really crude about it as well. So when you can't have sex, you want sex. And then when you can have sex, you don't want sex.
Yeah, but that's because you're a teenager.
Yeah, I know. He actually bought me a little sign from Amazon. It's like, you know, like a wet floor sign. And it says mood swing in progress. So actually, when I'm having a proper, he'll just put it on the coffee table.
I love that.
Yeah, so, yeah, he's very understanding with it. But it's almost as well. And I think because I'm also prone to this, it's almost like, you don't love me. But I think some of that is me as well. Quite a bit of that, actually.
Well,
in fact, that is me. Let's not blame that for that. I've always been like that.
But I think that's it, isn't it? It's when you've got something that you've always had that's kind of pushed you into a sensitive area that it just highlights it even more, doesn't it? And it's knowing that, actually, oh my gosh, before I used to be angry, now I'm really angry, or before I used to be sad, now I'm really sad. And, you know, it's that massive swing that most people don't want to talk about. No. But I see it in other people, and it's like they don't even think that it's that. They don't even think that they're going through the menopause. They just kind of want to put their head in the sand and pretend it's not happening. But it is. Yeah,
because it does mean for me as well, older age.
I
know, but 45 I am. I just could never imagine being 45. Like, I still feel in my early 20s. Not always, my bones hurt a bit more, but you know, your brain does feel like you're still young, doesn't it?
I don't know. I'm glad I'm not in my early 20s anymore, because I'm so much more mature than I was. But no, I don't think I feel like that. I think I feel like, I don't know what I feel like. What do you think?
What do I think? I'm not sure, really. I mean, I wish I was younger. I think it's probably the best way of putting it.
But do you still feel young, like in your mind?
Yeah, I don't feel old. There's times where I do feel old, where I really don't want to do that. Or, you know, when someone says to you, oh, you know, come and do this, and you think, oh, I really don't want to. Like, I'm old now. I don't want to do that. But then there's also that flip side of, I really want to go do that because I used to that when I was younger, and I can still do it. I think age is a weird construct. I think it really is about how you live your life is your age, rather than how many years you've been alive.
Let's just stop the changing of numbers then, shall we?
Yeah.
Someone says, how old are you?
Do you know, I keep forgetting how old I am.
Do you know what? I do that as well.
I
The
don't
other
even
day,
know
someone
how old.
asked me.
Oh, you're 34, aren't you?
I believe so.
Oh,
yes.
You're still really young, Mike.
Oh, thanks.
Aren't you?
I don't see it like that. I suppose I kind of never view age as a number. I kind of see you as Sarah, and I see Mike as Mike, and me as me. And I just don't think, I mean, somebody said the other day, well, he was one of the grandkids, said, how old are you, Granny? And I went, oh God, I've got to think about that one.
Ancient.
Thanks.
But do you think life still kind of dictates age? So there's an expectation of how you act at a certain age, or when you get to a certain age then?
I think we are conditioned in certain ways. It's like I've got certain clothes that I look absolutely fine in, but I think, oh, am I too old to wear that? I don't. I do wear what I want to wear and what I like.
I know what you mean, and I've thought this a lot in the last 12 months. I mean, I wear basically the same clothes every day. They get washed, obviously, but I don't really have a style, I suppose. And over the last 12 months, I've sort of thought that's not changed for 10 years, basically. And I wonder if it should. And a friend of mine, who's a girl, she's recently changed her kind of design. I don't know, is that the right word? Her clothes sense. And every time I see her, I always think she's older now because of how she's dressed.
No, I know.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I've never had a style. I just wear what I want to wear. So if I want to wear jeans for the next month and a jumper, I do. If I want to wear a short skirt, I do. But when I put on a short skirt now, I think, those legs are getting a little bit saggy, girl. Do you know what I mean? It might not be a good look to look at, but that kind of thing, if you see what I'm saying. And then I do have those questions in my head, but I will always check it out. I check it out about clothes.
What about you, Sarah? What do you think?
I think that we should be able to wear what we want.
Yeah.
But I do still think that there is that stigma attached to you get to a certain age and people feel like you shouldn't be wearing that.
I think I've got to that stage with hoodies.
I've always had that view on hoodies, Mike.
That's fair. That's fair. But I think the last 6 months I've thought I need to really retire these hoodies now. But I love a hoodie because they're so comfortable and warm.
Yeah. I like a big hoodie.
Yeah.
I like one that like kind of is almost like a dress. If I wear a tight hoodie, I don't. My boobs are too big to kind of get away with it. If I have I like a zippy hoodie.
That's not a hoodie. That's a zip hood.
We need to get you like one of those proper hoodies, like a Nike Air Max hoodie.
I've just I got a little grey and I put it on. I thought, I don't want to wear this. It's just not right. So I gave it to one of the grandkids. But the ridiculous thing about it is Freddie's 10, Bertie's 9. Bertie wears my zippy up super dry one and Freddie's wearing my other one now and they fit them. And it's like, am I really that small? No, I'm not that small, but I must be small. And I just don't think they look right on me. I think I look a bit weird. They kind of bunch me up and make my boobs look big and I feel all entangled and stuff. So that's why I don't wear a hoodie. But I wish I could because I love that look.
Yeah, keep wearing hoodies.
But why don't you like them anymore?
I don't know is the answer. I think they don't suit me. I don't think they look as good. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know.
You've always worn T-shirts and a jean.
Yeah, I don't wear anything else.
That is your look.
That is my look, and that's what I mean. I think it's time for a little bit of a change. And the first change is I'm not wearing hoodies as much.
But do you associate that with age or you just feel like you're going through a new chapter in life?
It's a good question. I'm not sure I associate it with age, but maybe it is a whole chapter thing. I don't know. I'm not going to throw hoodies away. I don't throw anything away, to be honest. A bit rude.
But true.
But I've bought more jumpers. I mean, I bought a jumper. This is really funny. So I bought a jumper I bought it for myself for my birthday back in November. It's still in the box in my office. I haven't actually opened it yet. I don't know why. I don't know why I've not opened it, but I haven't. It's a bit weird.
What's weird about it, though? What's weird about the jumper that you're not opening it?
I think it was quite expensive.
Oh, so you can't make...
So I'm sort of like, do I really want to open this? And I'm also very messy. Like the other day I decided I was going to make some bread and I put a T-shirt on and literally 5 minutes after I put this T-shirt on, I was covered in like flour and dough and all of this. So...
Do I need to buy you a penny?
I do relate. I'm sitting on a podcast and I've got blood down my jumper.
You can't actually see it in the camera.
You can't see it.
You can't see it. I think
Delightful.
yes. I think I need an apron. This is something I do need.
Okay. When's your birthday?
That's a long way away.
Interestingly, you've got an expensive jumper that is now just in a box having no value to your life.
Literally. I completely get you. I moved it yesterday. It's then on my coffee table in my office for, nearly 6 months. I moved it from there to the chair. I thought I should really open this box. I don't even know if they've sent the right one because I've not opened the box.
Crazy.
It is crazy. I don't know what's... Mentally, there's something not...
Okay, you need
like
to make
that.
a commitment to do this.
Okay.
Today.
So what's your
I'm going to
commitment?
bring it on the next podcast.
Yeah,
We're going to do
you
an
wear it.
unbox live.
Oh, yeah.
March the
Angie's
24th.
face.
Why are you saying that? Like, we're going to a wedding in June and I've ordered a dress for this wedding because I've got plenty of dresses that I would ordinarily wear, but I just thought, I'm going to treat myself to a new dress because I can pull dresses out of the wardrobe. I've not grown out of them or anything. But I've actually treated myself to a new dress. But there's a part of me that feels a little bit weird about buying a new dress. It's weird to spend that kind of money. It's not massively expensive, but to buy money just for one day, I'll wear it again somewhere else. But it just feels odd. What did I wear at your wedding? Oh, I spotty
jumpsuit,
Yeah, I did. Yeah. And I wore that to a wedding a couple of weeks before that.
Why do we do that to ourselves as well? We have to have something new for.
I don't ordinarily.
I'm terrible.
No, you are right though. Lots of people do, don't they? They buy. I bought that jumper we were just talking about for Christmas and didn't wear it.
Yeah, you just wore your T-shirt.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, but that's because I was cooking and I didn't want to get it on. Didn't get it.
Yeah, but you'd be too hot, aren't you? You're too hot. If
I mean, it's baking in here. Christ.
It's lovely.
It is lovely. But weird girls, that's another thing about the menopause.
Yeah. Hot, cold. Like, prize with the topic. I can't believe you didn't tell him.
So, no, I didn't. Have your periods actually stopped?
Near enough.
Right, so they're sporadic. Because that's another thing that people don't tell you about.
Yeah.
Your periods can carry on for quite a long time, even though you are in that perimenopausal state, can't they? I know that my periods just stopped obviously because I had a hysterectomy, but before that I was going through.
Yeah, very sporadic. Whereas before it was like clockwork.
Really?
Yeah, and then now, not at all.
I'm trying to ask you a really personal question, but I don't think I can.
Write on a bit of paper and then.
Well, it was more about contraception more than anything, because I think there's a lot of women that are at that age where they don't use contraception when they're in their perimenopausal state, and then end up falling pregnant. And it's that. I think that's the thing that a lot of women get caught out. I've had many, many clients over my years of being in practice that have come to me and went, I'm pregnant. And they're like late 40s, early 50s. I know that would be your dream, but do you know what I'm saying? It's a tough one, isn't it? Do you use contraception? Do you not use contraception? Do you carry on doing that? Do you know what I'm saying? Because the pill will continue to give you periods, I'm assuming. I don't know, because I've never experienced that.
I'm going to foster anyway. One day, that's the plan. That's what I'd love to do.
I remember having a conversation with you years ago about fostering.
I know. Older children.
I was going to say older kids.
Yeah, not babies.
What age?
I wouldn't mind fostering, like, I know it can be a bit of a dangerous age, but I wouldn't mind fostering even teenagers or... Yeah.
Well, there's many kids out there that are in difficult situations that could do with a good foster parent.
Yeah, love it.
Have you started the process?
We were going to start the process, then we stopped because we want to get a house first, because I think it's a nicer environment. And then, But is that also a bit of fear around feeling, would I be rejected as a foster parent? So it's almost sometimes better to think about it, but doing something about it then makes it reality. And what if they said no?
You gave a reference to somebody who's absolutely one of the nicest people I've ever met, you know, all the way through to the core. And they were applying for to foster and then to adopt long term. And they got refused because they smoke.
Wow.
Yeah, see, with my past, what's they gonna? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's not their past was checkered, but it was because the present they were still smoking a cigarette, and you think, wow, that is quite a tough line, isn't it? But I suppose if you put a child into somebody's house and they're smoking, they're passive smokers, you've got a responsibility, haven't you?
Yeah, I sort of understand it.
So when are you going to be ready, other than buying a house?
My goal is that I would definitely want to be ready within the next 2 to 3 years.
2 to 3 years? 2 years? 3 years?
2 to 3. By the time Mike has opened his box.
That is going to be the 24th of March.
That is funny, really, because fundamentally, isn't it? It's about when are you ready to do anything, and it's like when you are ready to open your box, when you are ready to be a foster parent, when you're ready to admit that you're actually going through the menopause, when we've all got to be ready to be able to kind of embrace this kind of stuff, isn't it? But and everybody's different, and everybody's menopause are different. There's some similarities, but they're different as well, aren't they?
Yeah, but little things like heart palpitations, pain in your legs when you're walking, which then doesn't help with someone who's got health anxiety because it feeds into everything.
Yeah.
I've got better at being sane around it, I would say.
So what illnesses have you thought you've had? Come on, please. Just go on.
If I could show you, I'm embarrassed. If I knew you, the Ask My GP I did not that long ago, you would have thought they'd sent people around with the white coats.
Go on.
I had heart failure, diabetes, and cancer all rolled into one in one Ask My GP. But from that, I would say that's when the new doctor, because I'm under a new surgery, was really, really supportive. Not feeding into it, but enough support to actually say maybe you need to do a bit more work on yourself, and took quite seriously when I was talking about the perimenopause.
Yeah.
Did you have Google helping diagnose all
Google's,
this?
yeah. Google had me done by the end of the day.
Wow. Yeah. I keep seeing these Instagram reels where people have asked Google problems, and yeah, quite often it's you're dead by the end of the day, and yeah, you should have your arm cut off and all these things.
Well, funny, because when I was going through that really difficult stage quite recently, and I was really poorly for ages, I looked up on this. I didn't look it up. And I went to my doctor, and he went, right, you're going to go and have a CT scan, you're going to go and do this, and you're going to do this, and you're going to do that, and you're going to do that. And I'm thinking, geez, what does he think's wrong with me? He didn't tell me what he thought it was, but just sent me off to have all of these tests. So I looked online, why would I be having on these symptoms this and this? And he said, well, yeah. He said, I was wondering if you'd had a brain tumour. And I went, well, thanks for telling me that in the first place. Yeah. But it is quite
scary.
I remember years ago, I went to see this gynecologist, and she did a biopsy. But I thought she was doing a biopsy for like a skin disorder, which is what she said. And when I went back to her, she turned around and said, oh, you'll be glad to hear you don't have cancer. I didn't even know you were testing for that. But they don't tell you everything.
They don't want to scare you and worry you when they don't know the full information.
But every Tom, Dick and Harry goes on the line and goes on ChatGPT Doctor or Google Doctor or whatever other server doctor you can find,
and look at the worst symptoms.
It's funny because I think the NHS in generally doesn't they don't give you the negatives unless it's factually backed up. Equally, they don't give you the most positive prognosis. I think they're very sort of in the middle of both of those. But then Google is the complete Google and AI and everything else is the complete opposite, isn't it? It's the other end of the scale. It's you're going to die tomorrow, and you're going to have both your legs chopped off, and you're probably going to grow a leg and all this kind of thing. And but people unfortunately create huge anxiety around that and fear, and I think a lot of people then almost get scared to actually go and see a doctor. Because they've done all those things.
But that then comes back to our subject, really, isn't it, about being menopausal or perimenopausal people, the shame factor, but also the fear factor. Does that mean I'm going to have this, and my husband's going to divorce me, or I'm going to lose my job, or I'm going to this, or I'm going to do that? And it's like that whole basket full of rubbish that goes on. But I wonder why I think we're in such an instant world, aren't we, that we want an instant answer. So therefore, that's why we go to our laptops or computer, whatever, or phones or whatever to find it. It's
just the world we live in, isn't it? Yeah. Everyone wants it now.
Right now. You can find anything out right now, can't you?
The funny thing I find is I'm supposed to take my temperature like every day just to check where I am at, because it measures, when you take your temperature, if your temperature is a bit higher, it tends to mean that your inflammation levels are high.
Depends on how close you are to the fire, surely.
But so I always take it first thing in the morning, so I'm not near the fire, Michael, and I take it just monitor it. I'm not as fussy about doing it now as I used to be when I was proper sick all the time. And it is quite amazing. Just taking your temperature can be an indicator that your body's saying there is something wrong. Don't need to panic. Take a paracetamol. If your temperature comes down, whatever you take, an anti-inflammatory, whatever it is, and that resolves it, then you know that that's what it is. But because so many people don't do that traditional, I have a thermometer on the top of the toilet shelf thing, and it's there every day. But I've got a funny body temperature as well, because my body temperature is lower than the average person, which is why I need the fire, Michael. But it does work. I think it just gives you an indicator. It doesn't mean to say I'm sick, but it just means to say I've got to take what I need to take to manage what's going on with me. And I think a lot of us don't do preventative medicine.
It's always after the event or...
I'm seeing this woman who's fantastic. Best thing I've ever done. Absolutely best thing. In fact, she's in Weston where you are. She's absolutely brilliant. Made such a difference to my life. I'm okay. I have to eat green things every day, tablets, but they work. It's amazing, which I'm going to talk about another day. I might even see if we can get her on.
Sounds good. Yeah, why not?
Good luck.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming on and opening the subject, because I'm sure it'll make other people talk about it, or at least think about it, or open their avenues. But it's true, isn't it? I'll tell you what, boys don't think about their mums going through it, because it's not something that's talked about. Does your mum talk about it?
No, she doesn't. I mean, I remember when she had her stroke, she pretty much went through it then. And I remember ordering these bracelets that supposedly help. But it's
funny, isn't it?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks.
Really good.
See you soon.
See you soon. Thanks a lot.